Zenless Zone Zero, I heard that the game is not even out yet, and there might be revisions or changes to her final character design. Yet ABsinthe Studio here is jumping the gun and putting her figure on pre-order, which is an interesting move. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. Today we will be taking a look at figures on pre-order between 20th to 25th of November. We are 1 week away from December. Okay, for this week, well, there are not too many interesting things to me, at least to me. On the genuine side, there are not that many figures. Well, meanwhile, the third-party side, I think there are some exciting stuff with Honkai and also even one FGO figure. But that is really entirely dependent on whether those figures are up to your taste or not. Also, we'll be taking a look at one resin figure where the game is not even out yet, but they are already putting the figure of the main character, I think, on pre-order. I'm not too well versed with this new game. I'm going to check it out after this, right? Okay, anyways, we'll go into HLJ.com first, our affiliate partner, to check out genuine figures before stopping by Ami and Ninin Game, and finally resin figures, right? For this week, okay, we'll go through the female characters as usual. There are two scale figures over here from Union Creative, which I did not quite expect. Okay, from the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses, Riho Tsukishima from Union Creative, only 17,000 yen. Okay, this is a seasonal anime, right? And I actually enjoyed it from start to finish. This anime really flew under the radar for many people, and some people wrote this anime off as just being another harem show in a way. Well, I would say this is very similar to the Essential Quintuplets, except, yeah, those 5 girls are not sisters and they hang out the main character and create problem for him in a cafe, which he inherited from his grandparents, right? This girl over here, Riho, well, I do kind of like her, and if you were to ask me which girl is my favorite in this show, I really don't know how to choose. I like that air-headed blue hair girl too, who is always screwing things over, right? That airhead side of her is kind of attractive as well. This girl, Riho over here, she is more of a slightly more matured college girl in a way. Yeah, her personality is not too bad either. Tough choice to me, seriously. The only girl I don't like in that show is that red-haired tsundere girl, right? Tsunderes are cute only in anime. In real life, trust me, you do not want to deal with one such person, male or female, because they are never telling you the truth about how they feel and playing mind games with you, and I'm not a fan of that. Okay, back to this figure, 17,000 yen, and the best thing I like about this figure is that called a jeans, or a jeans style shorts? I'm not sure what is that called, but that yeah, whatever she's wearing over there, I really liked how it looks like over here, right? The texture, it really looks like actual jeans to me. I love that. And for 17,000 yen, that is really cheap for a figure that is around 1/7 scale. Go for it if you loved the anime. I certainly did. In fact, I really wish that there is a season 2 of the anime, but I don't know anything. The second girl over here, Akane Howoji, from the same series for the same price. Well, the pose on this one isn't as great, but really, in this summer outfit over here, this is what they wore when they ran a cafe during the summer season in the middle of the series, I think. And this girl, Akane over here, well, she kind of flew under the radar for me. Like, I wasn't really liking her initially. She is a bit too quiet, and probably she gives off the vibe as being a very judgmental person who just judges you from the side. But as the series went on, I started to like her a bit more, right? So with this girl, Riho and her, really, if you are planning to collect all 5 girls, I do think I can see Union Creative making all 5, because these 2 figures, they are already a good indicator given that both of them are wearing the same outfit. And if they go ahead and put 2 different characters in the same outfit, there is a likelihood all 5 will get a figure from Union Creative, which is a great thing. It is not very often nowadays where you see seasonal anime. What's more, something that is a bit underrated to get scale figures like this. So support the figure company and go for it if you really liked this series. Like, you are telling the figure companies, hey, make more scale figures from seasonal anime because we actually like them. Yeah. The only way to tell them is to give them the sales numbers, right? Moving on to the next one, 1/6 scale Saint Elena, illustrated by Mappa Nata. Okay, 23,000 yen from Doki Boki. Doki Boki, I've seen this name like 2 or 3 times by now. I think they are so new that none of their figures has been released yet. Unfortunately for Doki Boki, I'm not a fan of the face of this Nun figure at all. A few episodes ago, I did mention that this year is perhaps one of the years where we get so many lewd Nun figures. Are they trying to corrupt those religious people? Maybe not, just character design, right? This character, I'm not a fan of the face, even though they may be following the exact artwork from the original illustrator. Like, the eyes are kind of drooping down like that. She looks a bit sad, and I mean, a sad face is not necessarily a bad thing, because some sad or crying faces in those NTR figures, they kind of look nice, but for this specific figure, not so much, right? So I'm skipping this one for sure, despite this being an extremely affordable figure for 1/6 scale, only 23k. Moving on to the next one, another Nun figure, and this one looks a lot better. This is so much nicer, but given that this is Vibrasta, related to native somehow, I'm not surprised. 1/6 scale as well, only 22,000 yen. Now, the details on the outfit, yeah, the waist region and all those stockings over there, they look incredible. Seriously, if you love these Nun figures, this is one of the better looking ones out there. I can remove her hood too, of course. After all, I do believe this is customable, and I'm going to stop scrolling right here. This is one of the original character figures this week, which I can highly recommend. I really wish I could get one for myself though, if my budget allows. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is by Snail Shell, which I have always thought it is a Japanese company, but could be Chinese. I don't know at all. I'm not really sure at this point, because the title of this figure down here, yeah, that is Japanese. The girl in the box 00 figure, 1/7 scale, only 12,500 yen, coming out in August next year. And apparently this figure can be used as a keychain of some kind, I think, right? Or a strap for your bags, right? However, even though the first page over here, the description, the name of the figure at the bottom is in Japanese, yeah, in subsequent pages, we are getting some instructions in Chinese somehow. Let me look for the pictures over here. Yeah, I mean the title over here, 产品展示, the title on top, that is Chinese. Is it written the same way in Japanese? I'm not sure. And then, they're giving a lot of pictures over here. I love it. Meanwhile, this picture over here, all of the descriptions surrounding the figure as well, those on top, those are in Chinese. I can actually read them, right? The same thing for all of the explanations in these product pictures over here. They are all in Chinese, not Japanese. So despite the first page, the title of the figure being in Japanese, I'm now more inclined to believe Snail Shell is a Chinese company. It doesn't matter what is the origin of the brand, where it is made, because as long the final product is high quality and well made, people will buy them. It is as simple as that. It doesn't even matter where it is manufactured in, right? So for 12,500 yen, yeah, that sounds really cheap for 1/7 scale, but I think this is pretty tiny. You can use it as a keychain somehow. So it is really up to you whether you like this concept over here or not. To me, yeah, because she is all curled up like this and you can't really see her face that much, I'm not sure if I like this at all. But as a key strap, as a keychain, yeah, it is a very unique and also an expensive one. Moving on to the next figure over here. I think this is the only low-cost figure this week. From El Coco, we have Kei Karuizawa from Classroom of the Elite. Season 3 coming next year for just under 3,000 yen. Until today, I'm still unsure whether to classify figures by El Coco as price figure or as a scale figure, because people told me you shouldn't expect too much at this price. They are a bit more like pop-up rates or even Furious Tenitol affordable skill figures, but most people don't call pop-up rate as price figures. How do you define price figure anyway? Price figures are the kind of figures where you can find it in crane machines in Japan, the one you play the crane machine game. Those stuff that are meant to go inside there, that is what we call price figure. So technically, from this point of view, pop-up rates are not price figures, but they certainly do look like one in terms of the quality level, right? El Coco is probably not one of those crane machine game figures, so they are not price figures. But we'll see what the quality is like because they are way cheaper than even pop-up rates. Moving on to the next one. 1x7 skill Sky Striker is Ray Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game Monster. Okay, this is by Kotobukiya, just under 17,000 yen, coming out in June. I have always thought Yu-Gi-Oh! As a card game with guys competing against each other, and all those guys have this really weirdo fancy hairstyle going on, huge stuff like that. Since when did Yu-Gi-Oh! Have pretty girls like this? Or maybe I'm just way too outdated, because the last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games was when I was in primary school, in elementary school. I haven't touched it for 20 years, so maybe a lot has changed. Since when Yu-Gi-Oh! Has girls like this. Character design wise, it feels like I'm looking at one of those light novel, visual novel, manga characters. It feels like that to me. And one of those magical school setting, and then the students inside are being trained to fight against monsters or any phenomenon that threatens the human race. Something like this. It feels like that kind of setup to me. I do love girls with weapons, with swords and cannons, but this one feels a bit generic, and at the same time, I'm getting a bit of glimpse of saber face over here. But for 17k, this is a fine figure, really. Can't go wrong with Kotobukiya in general. Moving on to the next one, 1x8 skill Estelle Bright from the Legend of Heroes by Kotobukiya, almost 18,000 yen. With the Legend of Heroes, several figures of this series have went on pre-order, all by Kotobukiya, and I do think there are two kinds of collectors, right? There are the ones who will buy the entire set, every character, and there are those who will only pick their favorite character. So which kind of collector are you? Let me know down in the comments below. For me, if I were collecting a small set of figures, like 3 characters or 5 characters maximum in one set, I have a tendency to go for all of them. But if it is like FGO, then you really have to be selective, right? There are way too many characters. Same thing with Azalane. As for this figure, once again, it feels like a typical Kotobukiya figure where there won't be any issues with the sculpting. But on the paint work, I'm not expecting any shading. Like, look at her hair over here. Even though some of the shadows we are looking at are from lighting, I think there is a very slight shading going on, which is nice. But everywhere else on his outfit, on her outfit, right? I am actually seeing a bit of shading. I can tell. Can't be a bad purchase. For me, I don't know much about the Legend of Heroes. I'm not playing the game either, so this is an easy pass for me. Next one, okay, this is a dude, but let's talk about him anyway. Izuku Midoriya, Deku version from BNHA, 26,500 yen by Proof. I have no idea whether Proof and Proof V are the same company. I think unlikely, but this is one incredible looking figure of Izuku. Effect Parts Bonanza, right? I have noticed, right, a lot of BNHA figures have all these effect parts, but specifically for this one, it is quite well executed. So I don't think I will complain too much. 26k is indeed pretty pricey, but I mean, look at the entire package, all those effect parts and the base, diorama base. I think the pricing is still pretty acceptable over here. Up next, this is a re-release, Kotobukiya's 1x7 skill art FXJ. You're cuddling the sword version from Code Vein. Like, this is really old, right? Code Vein, 19,000 yen, coming out in June next year. Code Vein should be a pretty old game, and I wonder if there are anyone else still remember about this one. Naturally, I'm not that much of a gamer, so I don't know much about Code Vein, but speaking entirely about the figure itself, the character design, I feel like I'm looking at a girl being wrapped in bandages all around. I do believe I mentioned this before, where re-releases are really good purchases despite the small price increase. They may increase it for 3,000 or 4,000 yen compared to the pricing from many years ago. But when you factor in the currency depreciation, buying it today is actually cheaper than buying it several years ago. So if you want this figure, yeah, absolutely, go for it, pre-order one. Next one, 1/7 scale Hitori Goto from Bocchi the Rock by Furyu, 18,000 yen only. But seriously, this is one of the worst looking Hitori Goto figures I've seen so far. The one by Aniplex is the best looking one at the moment. And even the one made by Good Smile, while being very plain in terms of the pose, like she is just standing there with a bag around her back, right? I don't know, the face on Good Smile's version looks a bit better than this one. Don't get me wrong though, this is still a good buy because of how affordable it is at 18,000 yen. She is holding the guitar and there's all those stuff on her base. Value wise, I don't see any problem with it. Just that there are better versions of her out there. If you are looking for one single figure of this character, then the Aniplex is the best one at the moment. But if you want to collect it all, then yes, go and pick one up, right? The thing with Furyu and Phoenix, right, is that they used to price their figures so high, but the final products are really not as good as they think they are. And there were quite a lot of unhappy people, especially those who bought the albedo figures, right? Yes, I do refer to those 40,000 yen plus albedo figures by Furyu and Phoenix. They are not as good looking as what was being advertised in the official product photos. So take this info in mind with you when you think about whether to pre-order this thing or not. Though at least this one is a lot more affordable. The next one, 1/7 scale League of Legends Keda Akali, only 17,000 yen by Apex. November next year, so 1 year away from release. I think Apex Toys is the only company at the moment, the only genuine figure company who is making, all these League of Legends scale figures with a really good quality. And even though I don't play LOL at all, not my kind of game really, the character designs, I do like it a lot. This girl over here, I would love to pick one up. Look at that jacket, those details around her hot pants and those stockings, everything about this figure is so appealing to me. Look at this picture over here. I have no idea if they are actually using glow in the dark paint, but if they really are, this figure, I think I need to get one. This is something really special. I'm the kind who always buys figures based on character design, and this thing has my attention simply for the glow in the dark paint on her cap and her face mask. That is enough of a reason. This is really affordable, 17k, maybe even cheaper in Chinese websites and Taobao. I'll go and check her out over there. I am intrigued and I think I want one, yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have two re-releases from Genshin Impact. MiHoYo is re-releasing Paimon for 5,800 yen. I think this is a small increase, right? Back then, she wasn't 5,000 yen. She was a bit below that, but not a big meaningful increase in any way. Yeah, if you missed out the first release, here you go and get one. This is quite affordable. And this is also one of the oldest figures I've reviewed on this channel, I think. Yeah. The next one, also a re-release. Not really a skill figure, but I'll just give her some spotlight. Genshin Impact Statue of Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Ogosho, God of Thunder. 5,200 yen. I'm not the kind who collects chibi stuff, but still, if you want something to decorate your desktop PC maybe, you want something on top, then yeah. These small stuff, they are great for that purpose, right? Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is kind of a re-release, but as usual, Freeing removes the stockings and you get the Barrel version. 1/4 scale, oh my goddess, Belle Dundee. 25,400 yen, coming out in July next year. Oh my goddess is, yeah, classic, an absolute classic. Was it late 1990s or early 2000s? I can't remember anymore. I did not watch the anime. Wasn't my kind of thing, you know. 25k for 1/4 skill. Yeah, For those who want it and they don't mind the missing stocking, this is your second chance. Go and get one. For me, no. I'm not into this classic stuff. I was a huge fan of Digimon way back to the first season from year 1997, but today I don't really care about Digimon anymore. And the last figure on HLJ, which unfortunately I can't put it on screen, Gakkou de Seishun Hazuki Kuwahara illustration by Sasho Kuwamido, 22,000 yen by 18. Go and check out the figure yourself in HLJ or any other website you prefer. Yeah, this thing is wearing almost nothing, so I can only talk about her very briefly over here. And that is all for figures on HLJ. We stopped by Ami for a bit. Okay, this figure of Hitori Goto went on pre-order last week in Aniplex, an exclusive, but somehow I think Ami got their hands on license, or they got the rights to sell this and take pre-orders, so you can grab her from Ami as well. And also niningame.com in case Aniplex Japan does not ship to your own country. Moving on to the next, they are not yet on pre-order in HLJ, they are not exclusives or anything, but since they went on pre-order this week, I have to cover them. Kana Shinomiya, designed by Kanzarin, 1/7 scale by Amakuni for only 22,000 yen, coming out in November 2024. Okay, once again, she has very little clothes on, so I have to cover up the picture. Just check the listing yourself in Ami, right? Amakuni makes top tier figures. I have an Amakuni figure coming up for review in a week or two, but that is a FGO character. That thing is amazing, I'm telling you right now. So, Amakuni, there is no need to doubt anything. You like the character design, go ahead and hit that pre-order button. Yeah. Up next, and the last figure on Ami for this week I want to cover. This is an Ami exclusive. You can only get it here on Ami, or yeah, Ninin Game does take pre-orders for her as well, but Ninin Game is going to charge you a bit higher because they need to procure an exclusive item from a supplier, right? I think 33,000 yen or so if you get it on niningame.com. Girls Frontline Neural Cloud Florence 1/7 scale by Fats Company for almost 30,000 yen. And do you know what is the biggest tragedy to happen to this figure Florence? The very fact that Fats Company got the license for this character and this specific figure, because I don't have any confidence in Fats Company in keeping the quality control in check after they messed up several girls Frontline scale figures this year. And those are not cheap figures. They are between like 25,000-26,000 yen range. This is 30k, not too far off. And this is also not under their luxury gift series like Semiramis or Katsushika Hokusai from FGO. So I'm not too sure, because even if Fats Company messes up this figure and I could get her for less than 20,000 yen after a bargain bin, I wouldn't want that to happen. I would rather pay 25 to 30k for something that is virtually perfect out of box, right? Yes, I would prefer to pay more for high quality than to pay less for low quality if I had to choose. Seriously, this is hands down my favorite scale figure, genuine scale figure for this week. And that face expression really seals the deal for me. I haven't purchased any single girl's Frontline figure yet, and there is a very high likelihood this would be my first one, even though this is Neural Cloud, something different, like a spin-off, right, from what I know. This is like a more brutal looking PA-15 and I love it so much. Yes, and this photograph over here, this is excellent. If I were making a diorama for this figure, yeah, it would look very similar to this picture over here. Probably taken by Vistar Studio. He did an excellent job with this photo. And pictures like this make me want to purchase the figure even more. It makes me want it even more badly. The question for me now is to get it from Chinese websites or to get it from Ami. This is so tempting, man. What is the height? I think this is quite a tall figure from the looks of it. 26 centimeters. That is a very nice size, okay, for 1/7. And lastly, before we move on to third parties, one last scale figure on Ninin Game for this week. This is a native store exclusive. Characters selection original character Sumire 1/6 scale Hush Cocktail version. by Pink Cat and Native. So this is the only picture I'll put it on screen because yeah, she is customable. This is too MILF to me, right? Too thick for my taste, not my kind, but some people they love characters like this, and for that reason, if you love the character design, this is an excellent purchase. Like, this feels like a fusion of bunny girl and Chinese dress, and that barrel top desk over there with Chinese elements in it. This is something new to me. I would still love to have one if budget is not an issue, right? This is certainly a very good purchase. What was the price again? Yeah, 31,000 yen. Let's just call this 31k. At 1/6 scale, this is an excellent purchase. Probably top 5 best skill figure this week as well. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Let's move on to third-party resin figures. Okay, this week there are not too many figures to cover, and as usual, we'll be making use of OzGK, which is an affiliate partner of this channel. For every figure I'm about to cover, I think every figure, I will put a link down in the description below. If you're interested in any of them, go and make use of it. Doesn't cost you anything, and you are helping out this channel in the process. Right, so we'll start off with the least interesting stuff, I suppose. Least interesting, at least to me, right? One Piece. I have no idea how many more thousand episodes they plan to make for this one. Maka Studio One Piece Shirahoshi. Okay, and so the full price is $284 for basically a mermaid figure with all those water effect parts. You see, if there is one thing third-party resin figures always do better than genuine ones, it is water effect parts, right? They make it seem so easy, but of course you have to pay for it, right? This is certainly a better mermaid than the Disney's mermaid movie, the remake at least. Okay, I just like to trash Disney so much for some reason. I always find opportunities to take shots at them whenever I can. Okay, this is not the best looking water effect I've seen, right? Make no mistake, this is not the best looking one. In fact, at this close-up distance, I feel like I'm looking at green color slime or gel. The figure itself looks really nice. Yeah. So, 284 for something that is 44 centimeters. This may be a 1/6 scale, but I don't think it is expensive at all, given the size of the figure. Next one, also from One Piece, a very early bird pre-order. We are only getting a teaser pic. This is the only pic we get. Shirahoshi as well by Babyface Studio. This is not the final price yet, and there is version S and S Plus, which I assume you're getting a nude version, right, for the Plus version. That price is not yet final, but judging by the estimated pre-order and deposit amount, this is going to be very affordable. Yeah. Next, from NG Studio, we have Nami in a bikini, basically, and this is only $79, but yeah, those bikini looks terrible. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like it is not even fitting her body, the shape of her breast properly. So, $80, I think you can treat this as a large scale, a 1/6 scale price figure. And if you look at it that way, all those poorer levels of details starts to make some sense, right? After all, this is only $80. Next one, One Piece Perona from Dragon and Pop Studio. Full price only $190 at 1/6 scale. This is one of those One Piece characters with really weird character designs, but I've seen worse, like the fat grandma, you know, in One Piece. This one, yeah, I have a problem with her eyes, right? In the end, this is just a matter of character design, and yeah, I'm skipping it. Next one, this is one of the highlights of the week. Zenless Zone Zero. I heard that the game is not even out yet, and there might be revisions or changes to her final character design. Yet ABsinthe Studio here is jumping the gun and putting her figure on pre-order, which is an interesting move. You see, the thing with genuine figure brands is like they like to drag their foot. I think Blue Archive, My Dress Up Darling, and Bocce the Rock are the best examples. Like the first year or two, everyone just ignored it, and then when they finally realized that this is more popular than we thought, the resin figure companies has spawned maybe several dozen figures from those franchises, while the genuine ones are just beginning to react. So in that sense, this is really fast work coming from ABsinthe Studio, based on what some of you told me in my Facebook page. This character, Nicole Demera, her character design is not even finalized yet. And there may be changes, yes, but regardless of that fact over here, I still recommend you guys who want her, if you like this character design specifically, if you want one, go ahead and hit that pre-order button before it is too late, for two important reasons. Number one, we don't know if the finalized character design is better or actually worse than this one, because I heard that censorship in China and other factors might influence the character design, right? And number two, resin figures are not like genuine PVC figures where they are being mass produced into oblivion. Resin figures are manufactured in very limited quantities, usually only a few hundred to a few thousand maximum. And once they are sold out, that is it. They are rarely ever being re-released, and the value will just go way up through the roof. You can't help but think about this fact, and then yeah, for that reason alone, you might want to pre-order it. Especially if you love this character design, I certainly do. I like this a lot, and my only problem is the price of $380 for the high-end version. My bad. The regular version is $304 and you add $76 to get the deluxe version, the high-end version at $380. You're getting an additional nude torso. You can display the figure entirely nude, which personally I won't, because it looks really weird to see a nude girl standing at a railway stop over there. But regardless, if I want this figure, I want the complete package, right? I always go for the more expensive one. Yeah, 1/6 scale, $380 is a lot of money. Can't do anything about that. But ABsinthe Studio, from the looks of it, they are making a lot of amazing figures. I have 1 or 2 figures by them on pre-order, but unfortunately they won't be coming out until the middle of next year. Until then, we'll see what their quality is like. Yeah, on this channel, I will review them. So it is a bit too early to tell whether this figure will be any good, but at least based on the product pictures, it is quite nice. It is very convincing, I have to say. Moving on to the next figure. Okay, from DreamX Studio, we have Makinami Illustrious from Neon Genesis Evangelion. $250 apparently, but that is not a final price. This is an early bird pre-order, and this is the only one single picture I could put on screen. And I got this picture thanks to Facebook, right? This picture isn't uploaded on this website yet. Very early bird pre-order, and the price is not yet final. The next one, also an early bird pre-order, Tifa from Final Fantasy by CP Studio. Okay, the price $845, but that is not yet finalized. But bear in mind, this is a 1/4 scale, so I'm expecting anywhere between 600 to 800 plus in USD. Do you like Tifa in a Japanese outfit, a traditional one? I'm not too sure. For me, this is a really weird combo. Right? Like Final Fantasy as a concept is very futuristic, so to see a character wearing something traditional, it feels weird to me at least. So I'm not too sure about this one. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have 3 or 4 original characters by third parties over here, right? And original characters are something you love or hate just by depending on the character design. Unfortunately, for 724 Studio, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I like this concept over here of a girl in bikini in a glass. Yeah, cool concept, but the execution over here is really odd. Original 1000 cups of girl mojito for $227. I'm not going to scroll through the pictures because YouTube likes to screw people over just by showing them a bit more cleavage, right? But still, I'm not sure about this figure. Like, I don't like the concept of this one at all. Moving on to the next one from Barcode Studio, we have original character Happy Week of Golf for $781. I thought that $780 was really expensive for what this figure is, despite a 1/4 scale. But now that you're getting 2 sets of outfit, 2 different heads, yeah, I think the price starts to make a bit more sense over here. You look at this enlarged picture over here, yeah, the texture on her shirt is amazing. I love that. But hey, nobody wears a G-string to play golf, man. Okay, moving on to the next one, also by 724 Studio, original 1000 Cups series as well. Hey, I mean, Furyu Tenitol is doing this set of quintessential quintuplet figures for 5,000 yen, all those 5 sisters inside a dessert glass of some kind. This is very similar in a sense for $227, and the figure is not even that attractive to begin with. And one word of advice for 724 Studio, if they somehow are watching this video over here, do not photograph this figure with a black color background, because the colors on her dress and everything else in the glass is pretty dark already. You're not creating any contrast at all this way, and it makes the figure less attractive to prospective buyers. Margarita, real wine glass material. Okay, that is nice, but still, I'm not too sure about this character. I certainly am not a fan of it. Moving on to the next one. Well, it has been ages since the last time we saw something from Guilty Crown. That one anime series which took off with a lot of hype. It was very overhyped because of the visuals and the audio. The sound effects were amazing. But the first half of the series was great. The second half, it went down the drain and the ending was horrible. And spoiler alert for those of you who did not watch it, yeah, she did not survive all the way to the end. Coming from Beast Studio, Guilty Crown Yuzuriha Inori for $422 at 1/6 scale. This is massive at 1/6 scale, and is Beast Studio the same studio which I called out in the past for art theft? Was it the same one? I can't remember. There was one company I called out on my video title for stealing artwork. Is this the one? I can't remember. I certainly don't encourage people to buy recast garage kits, because recasting is basically bootlegging. It is the same thing, right? And this Inori figure looks really familiar to me. I'm not sure if this is a recast at all. And given that if the studio had a history of stealing artwork, there is a possibility over here. But regardless, the face of this Inori figure looks really weird. Like, I'm not too sure. There is something not quite right with the face. I'm not sure if it is the eye placement, which could be improved upon, but for $422, this is not a very good looking Inori figure unless you're really desperate. There are not many figures of her out there. Freeing did not even make a 1/4 scale of Inori, I think. Was that a bunny figure of Inori? I don't think so. There was a 1/8 scale Yukata and the one by Good Smile, which was very small, and Good Smile also screwed up the skin tone on that Inori figure, right? This just looks very familiar and uncanny to me, just that I can't remember. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have 2 Raiden Shogun figures for this week. The first one here, this is an early bird pre-order by Atlas Studio. Kendo uniform, and this is the only picture we're getting. The price is not yet confirmed. The pose at least is quite nice, but yeah, the outfit is a bit too simple and too plain, so I can't say I like it over here. And the second one from Jigen World Studio, we have Raiden Shogun for $474 at 1/6 scale. That is, oh, okay. I'm not clicking on it, right? Version A is $321. This picture looking at over here, this is $321. Version B is a bunny outfit with her boobs exposed, which I can't put on screen. Go and check out the link yourself. For around $190. I'm amazed I can remember that. And deluxe version, you buy both for a discount, and the total is $474 instead of $500 plus. So that is up to you. For me, I would say this version A is good enough. Unless you want some fan service, then you go for the deluxe package or version B, right? Okay, the pictures at the bottom, I think the first few pictures are fine for me to scroll through. Raiden Shogun, there are so many figures of her as well. Way too many among the third parties. This one looks fine, like not too fan servicey, and definitely does not have giant TDs, which is something third parties love doing. Right? This one looks okay for $321. Not my favorite Raiden Shogun figure, but plenty competent for what it is. Next one over here from LC Studio, we have Mikasa Under the Tree from Attack on Titan. $356. Feels overpriced. This is really overpriced. $356. Okay, please let me take back what I just said. I call this overpriced at $356, but that is for the deluxe high-end version where you're getting that entire tree behind her with that gravestone over there. Presumably that is Eren dead already. Okay, one entire tree plus figure for $356, that is actually cheap. Can I just buy the tree? You know, I want a tree for my dioramas. Can I purchase the tree somehow? Okay, the figure only is $190, which is still a tad bit on the expensive side of things. And then there is a version B. The pose is slightly different for $190 as well. Version A is better with that bird over there. And version C, you get it with the tree, the entire tree behind her, which is huge, right? For $356. Okay. But this figure of Mikasa otherwise is not very attractive to me. Up next, from Yuzai Wenshin Studio, we have Tsunade from Naruto at 1/3 scale for under $500. Okay. This company over here, they make 1/3 scale action figures or dolls, I'm not sure what to call them. And they are seamless, you can't see any joints because the outer skin is silicone material, right? Like adult toys in a way. So with this one over here, this one looks a lot better than the one figure they made that went on pre-order last week. Was it Paimon or something from Genshin? I can't remember. But the one we saw last week was terrible. This one looks a lot better, especially the face over here. Yeah. You can pose this thing and of course you can remove her clothes. So that is up to you if you are into this kind of thing. This is basically Dolphy size for $500. Up next, we have Kafka from Honkai Star Rail by FWS and ZZD Studio for $231, right? And this is actually value purchase. The value is quite good over here because you're getting extra outfit, extra body, I think extra torso, and you can also display her completely nude, which I'm covering the whole figure just to be safe over here. And yeah, the face on this Kafka is okay. I still prefer the one I pre-ordered by Imagination Studio. I feel like I made the best decision in terms of which version of Kafka to go for when pre-ordering, but whether the company will mess up the figure is another different equation to consider, right? You are still taking a risk. And the outfit on this thing, damn, that is really detailed. I love that. Just that the pose reminds me of Violet Evergarden, right? Like holding an umbrella like this. This is Violet Evergarden pose. Not that I have an issue with it. She looks fine the way she is. And value proposition is quite good with this Kafka over here. Moving on to the next one. Oh, this is one of the top figures this week, at least on my Facebook page. But some people questioned about her tail. Yeah, her tail looks a bit terrible. Like, I would rather them paint the tail in the same color and the same shade as her hair. It looks a bit out of place over here. Anyways, this is Huohuo swimwear version from Honyo Studio. Yeah, Honkai Star Rail, $359 for 1/4 scale. That is incredible. 1/4, yeah, $359 for 1/4. 1/7 scale is $171 only. So this is entirely up to you. What is your budget price point? For photography, I prefer 1/7 scale. It is a huge pain to set up for 1/4. But for collection purposes, for an epic display on a shelf, then yes, 1/4. Tough choice for me. Is this a customable figure? I think yes, she is. I just confirmed it, just that I can't put it on screen. So, will you pick up this figure? This is really popular on Facebook, on my page at least. Character design, the pose, I like it a lot. Is she holding an axe, or actually that is a flag? I'm not too sure. It looks like a flag to me, right? The more I look at her tail, the more it feels a bit wrong to me. They really need to improve that. This looks like a crystal you see in a cave. I want it to look like actual fur, or at least looks like her hair over there. Yeah, it looks a bit out of place. Up next, this is one of the top figures this week on my Facebook page as well. A lot of people are going to purchase this. I myself am very tempted. Silver Wolf from Honkai Star Rail by NPP Studio. In case you missed out on last week's episode, which I did mention, NPP Studio is Dodomo Studio, right? Okay, $245 at 1/6 scale is actually good value because you are getting a second torso to display her nude without her outfit. Yes, so that is a good price, $245. And the pose on this Silver Wolf, this is also my favorite Silver Wolf figure so far. I have covered so many by different companies over the past few weeks. This is the best looking figure of her so far. Unlike genuine figures which you can wait until after release before buying and it is not yet too late, for third parties it is kind of rough. I'm thinking of placing a pre-order on this one as well. Last week I covered a Blue Archive figure. Was it Uraka? I think I forgot her name already. I have already pre-ordered that one on this site. Now Silver Wolf is most likely, yeah, I might go for one as well. I have to think this over. I still have time to think about it. Up next, from Arctic Wolf Studio, we have Teresa Apocalypse from Honkai Impact 3rd. I have received a number of inquiries about this figure right here, like, when can we order one? Chill and be patient. Yeah, there is no price yet and no pre-order button yet on this page, at least at the time of recording. I'll put the link in the description below. Check back after a day. Yeah, this could sell really well. I can see this already, okay? And judging by the details on what is on screen over here, there is an option to go for 1x4 and 1x6, which is really nice. For me, if I were to purchase something like this, I think I would be content with 1x6 scale. And this figure is cast offable. I have seen pictures of her completely nude on Facebook already. Someone else posted it, which I couldn't put on screen, of course. Are there even any Teresa Apocalypse genuine figures yet? I don't think so, not for this specific character. Everyone is just focusing on Sakura, right? That pink hair girl. And the outfit on this figure, man, that's really detailed. That is totally my kind of thing. But I have a bad feeling over here that this is going to cost a lot. Even at 1x6 scale, this could be as high as $400, given the base and all those props around her, right? Needless to say, 1x4 scale is going to be 700, 800 maybe, I don't know. We will know in 24 to 48 hours, and I can see this one selling really well, regardless of the price, right? Up next, from Sakura Studio, we have Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician. So if you're going for the girl only, this one over here, yeah, she is only $153, right? 282 is for both, including this dude over here, this Dark Magician over here. $153 for this is certainly a very good price, assuming that they don't mess up the figure, but I think it is very unlikely because all this more mainstream stuff, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh is mainstream as well, and then shonen stuff in general, maybe except Kime Yaiba, where they rarely mess up anything, the third parties, because they are very experienced already. Kime Yaiba, I'm still seeing a few bad figures, but that is a different topic altogether. Next one from Pokemon, right? We have Marnie and also Morpeko and Grimmsnarl from Spike Town Studio. Now, okay, regular version, you're only getting this girl over here, Marnie and Morpeko, that Pikachu-like thing over there. And that is going for $194. But if you can afford the entire package, the deluxe version, everything you see over here, that is $460, which includes Grimmsnarl. This entire package over here, yes, very expensive. But if I have to be honest, this is the best looking Pokemon figure so far. Both genuine and third party combined. I don't even watch the anime, I don't play the game as well, but solely looking at this figure from an artistic standpoint, from a figure standpoint, this is very attractive. Yeah, 38 centimeters tall and 48 wide. This is huge. I do think the price is reasonable but expensive, so that is really up to you. The next one from Sunday Studio, we have Artoria Pendragon Lancer from FGO for only $248 at 1x6 scale. Very reasonable pricing over here, but I can't help but feel that I've seen this somewhere. Hopefully I'm wrong though, because I do not support recast and bootlegs, but if it isn't, this is one of the best looking Artoria Pendragon Lancer figures out there. I call it Mama Artoria, right? This is the best Lancer Artoria figures out there if you can accept the face. There is a big but over here. The pose and the base, no question, it's the best one, even better than the one made by Eastream, which I reviewed on this channel. But the problem with this Lancer Artoria figure, there are two issues I'm seeing over here, right? The first problem is I don't like her face as much. It looks a bit too mature and a bit too realistic. There are even some people who call this American version, whatever that means. Maybe they meant Karen version, you know, the Karen who is always asking for the manager. It does feel a bit Karen-ish to me, this version of Lancer Artoria's face, but other than that, everything else is almost perfect. And if there is another issue, a smaller issue I have with this Lancer figure over here, it is the armor, which is way too shiny. Some people like it, of course, but when I look at armor that is so shiny, this is not just silver, this is more like chrome already. The figure starts to look a bit too cheaply made, you know? When you look at children's toy, maybe a children's toy car, remote control car, or maybe a robot, remote control robot that costs like $10 or $20 for children, you know? And those metallic parts, they use this very cheap looking chrome color paint, which almost looks like a mirror in a way, very shiny, very reflective. This is what it feels like to me when I look at this figure, and I can't say I like that. In terms of the shade of silver or chrome or anything metallic, Eastream did a far better job. But in terms of the pose and the base, this is better. It is so weird that being a FGO collector like me, I am more interested in the Honkai Star Rail figures earlier over this FGO figure, and I do think that the face is a big factor over here. I'm not a fan of the face, yeah. So I suppose that this is an acquired taste. This angle, yeah, I don't like her face that much, but from this angle, it looks a bit better. So perhaps the way you display this figure and which angle you're looking at her from, it is very important, right? The next one, MF Studio, I wonder if the president or the CEO is Samuel L. Jackson, you know? A2 from Nier Automata, $845 US. That is not yet confirmed, TBD. Okay, regular version is $684, deluxe version $845 at 1/4 scale. The figure looks amazing. I like the figure a lot, but it feels like the base is so overdone and so massive. The base must cost half of the entire figure itself. Is that an RX-79 ball from Gundam series? Okay, they are really flexing the amount of details in these pictures. Yeah. This is probably one of the best looking third-party Nier Automata figures I've seen yet so far. Of course, it comes at the price. EX version is the one on the left. The one on the right is regular version. So they are not really cutting out much, right? Even the regular version, the base is already incredible. But yeah, when you are going for something this premium, go all out and get the deluxe version. I'm a sucker for details, and that is my biggest problem over here. Okay, last figure for this week. Oh, this is something unexpected from TXS Studio. We have Monster Musume Nichijou Miya. 400. Okay, the price is not yet confirmed, but this is a 1/4 scale. So far, we never had any 1/4 scale figures of Monster Musume. So that is one thing to think about. So what do you think about the face of this figure? I think they did a great job, assuming that this is what you get in the final product. And 1/4, bro. This is 1/4. So you might want to keep an eye on this one. Right? I am not a fan of Monster Musume. I did not even finish the anime, you see. But I do recognize that she is popular, and this might be potentially a good purchase even. Yeah. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you pre-order? Let me know. For me, the top 2 figures this week both are on the third-party site. That Zenless Zone Zero Nicole Demera figure, which I'm not sure if I will purchase it. I mean, $380 is a lot, but that Silver Wolf figure, yeah, that Silver Wolf by NPP Studio, that one I am extremely interested. Yeah. So that is all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up and please do subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content. Yeah, both genuine figures and third parties, I cover them as much as I can. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.